Thank you, Veronica.
Okay. Thank you. So that then takes us on to item 7.5, which is the Corstorphine Connections Low Traffic Neighbourhood Community Engagement on Concept Design Report. I think the Lord Provost had expressed interest in speaking on this item as a ward member, but I'm not sure if he's actually with us in the meeting. We have Daisy here to present the report, and we have a Conservative group amendment, a Green group addendum, and a Liberal Democrat group amendment circulated on this item.
Thank you, Veronica. Thank you, Convener. I'm conscious of time, so I won't say too much. Just a very quick one to reiterate the points I made in terms of the background to low traffic neighbourhoods when I spoke about the Leith report. And a very quick note to say that on Corstorphine, recognize very clearly that there is considerable concern, as part of the discussions that happened over the past few months. So I hope the report makes it clear that we have listened to the concerns. We've picked up specific points, especially around schools, especially around traffic on Soch Road, and we have modified and amended the design to reflect what we've heard. So I won't take up more time, Convener, and just take questions. Just to say sorry, again, in terms of detail, my colleagues Phil and Paul Matthews from ACOM are here to help.
Thank you very much, Daisy. Do we have any questions on this particular report? I'm not seeing anything. No. Okay, well, in that case, first of all, that means it was a successful report. I've got no questions emerging from it. But can we go straight to the amendments and addendums then?
Sorry, Councillor McInnes. I see in the chat box that Councillor Corbett has a question.
Thank you. Better spotted than I did. Thank you, Councillor Corbett.
Apologies, I was late in putting in the chat box as well. Just in relation to the issue around bus gate timings, one of the deputations made the argument, which I've tried to reflect in my amendment, that it might be better to have greater flexibility in order to be able to innovate within a wider envelope, if you like. And I just wanted to check with officers if that indeed was the case, if that would be a useful change, just to ensure that we can flex times if indeed it turns out that the optimum time hasn't been chosen.
Thank you, Councillor. I'll refer to Phil in a second, but just to say that, yes, over the past week and a half, we've been talking to the Community Council as well, and there have been further discussions, and there are a couple of points that we think would be really good to pick up as part of, if this does get taken forward, as part of the further conversations. But on the specific point, I don't know, Phil or Paul, if you want to pick that up.
I think actually it could be useful to at least slightly expand the window. There was a point made at the Community Council meeting that I attended on Monday evening about, for example, about a potential start time at 8:15 in the morning rather than 8:30 because of the timing of the primary school nursery starts up. So I think actually there could be some merit in having a bit more flexibility on the times of the bus, especially moving a bit earlier in the morning.
Thank you very much. So, Councillor Bird.
Thanks, Convener. Yes, just a brief one. I got in late as well. Just around the Corstorphine primary travel active travel plan, it says it wants to reduce cars in the immediate area by 40%. I'm assuming that is realistic under these sorts of plans, and if the proposal to halt this scheme were to be accepted today, that probably wouldn't be a realistic achievement.
Thank you, Councillor. I'll again defer to Phil in terms of the specifics, but yes, I'm sure we've seen data from other schools and school streets that are fed into this. Phil, do you?
I don't think there's really much to add. I don't think we can be absolutely specific about the percentage reduction that the proposals would achieve, but they're likely to achieve a significant reduction, whereas not making the changes is very unlikely to achieve a reduction.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is that us at the end of the questions? In which case, I think we'll move directly to the amendment. Sorry, my apologies. I skipped out a phase where I bring forward I recommend the report and the recommendations within the report. And I won't go any further than that. I'm supremely conscious of time and the rest of our agenda, so I'm not going to have the opportunity to make much comment on this. I would ask, therefore, that the people coming forward in terms of the amendment and the addendums and so on are equally brief in their comments. I'd be very grateful for that. It would pay respect to the rest of the agenda. So could I ask now for Councillor Hutchison, please, for the Conservative group?
I think I need to second first.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm in such a rush.
It's okay. I'm doing it formally.
My apologies. Thank you, Councillor Dorn. And now moving to Councillor Hutchison, please.
Thank you very much, Convener. And bear in mind what you say. Council consults, people say one thing, you don't listen and do the opposite. I move the Conservative amendment.
Councillor White, I presume it is?
That would actually be me.
Oh, sorry,
Convener,
my apologies, Councillor.
Thanks, Convener. On that very succinct message from Councillor Hutchison, I will just second formally. Thank you.
Thank you. And if we can move now to the Green Group addendum, please.
Thanks, Convener. I will be brief as well. I mean, low traffic neighbourhoods have excited some passions over the last year, not just here in Edinburgh, but elsewhere in the UK. But as I already said to this committee before, we already have low traffic neighbourhoods in this city. I just haven't been called that. In my own ward, for example, in Hutchison, Cheshire and Craiglocker, steps were taken decades ago to stop through traffic. And any suggestion of removing them would be hotly contested. Now, I can't see why Corstorphine and Carricknell would be any different from that. So I do think it's time to get ahead and make the changes, all the while recognising that communication and engagement has to be an ongoing process rather than simply at the design phase. And the only tweak I'd suggest, which is in the amendment, is from the deputation, as we saw today in the written deputations, to give maximum flexibility in bus gate times so that it could be changed swiftly if the optimum times for operation turn out to be a wee bit different from what's represented in the report. We've heard from officers that would be a useful change as well. So with that, I propose the Green addendum.
Thank you very much, Councillor Corbett. And Councillor Booth?
Formally second, Convener.
Thank you very much. And then going to Councillor Lang, please.
Yep, thank you very much, Convener. So I suspect I'll never get an admission of this from the administration, but I do think this paper does, to an extent, demonstrate that some lessons have been learned from the debacle that was the East Craigs LTN process. I think there has been some detailed consultation carried out, and I respect the fact that officers have come forward with changed plans as a result of that consultation. And to that end, we think there's merit in going forward with the experiment and seeing how things work out. And as this paper does make clear, there will be opportunities for this committee to again then look at the outcomes of that experiment before anything permanent is decided upon. The one and only bit where we did have some real concern was around the change that was being proposed on Featherhall Avenue. And I do actually respect the reasons why officers have made this suggested change compared to what was being proposed originally. But unfortunately, we do think this is one area where the revised suggestion is worse than what was there before. And we're very conscious of the sensitivities around Featherhall Avenue, which is the road that connects the medical centre with the local pharmacist. And we do have concerns over the one-way system that is now being proposed, hence why we have submitted the amendment that we have. And with that, I will move it formally, Convener.
Thank you, Councillor Lang. And Councillor Child, would you mind formally seconding?
Yeah, formally.
Thank you very much indeed.
You're muted, Convener, sorry.
Thank you very much. I will move to sum up then to see where we are. I didn't see so at the beginning, but clearly we're moving the content of the report. I think it's a very useful report. I think it's clearly detailed. There's been a lot of work that's gone into it, and that we'll be proceeding with that as it stands. I'm happy to accept the comments from within the Green Group amendment. My apologies, addendum. And think that it's very helpful. It illustrates some of the key issues that are attached to that. And as far as the bus gate timings are concerned, I think it's very useful to have that wider set of possibilities. Even if we actually implement it in a narrower way at the beginning in order to be able to monitor it. As with all things to do with road changes, if we can bypass difficulties for ourselves in the future, I think that's a good idea to allow us that degree of flexibility. So I'm happy to accept that. The other two amendments I don't see much value in. So thank you very much indeed.
Okay, sorry, can I just check with the Green Group? Do you still wish to move your addendum even though it's been accepted by the administration?
No, we'll withdraw that.
Okay, that's great, thank you. Are you happy for me to go to the vote, Convener?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Convener. So we have a motion by Councillor McInnes, seconded by Councillor Doran, to approve the recommendations in the report and the Green Addendum. Amendment 1 by Councillor Hutchison, seconded by Councillor Smith, is to approve the Conservative Group amendment as circulated. And Amendment 2, which is the Liberal Democrat amendment, moved by Councillor Lang, seconded by Councillor Child, is as circulated. So I'll just launch the vote. Sorry, Convener, I'm just waiting on one vote coming in. I have 10 responses. Is there anyone who hasn't voted?
Sorry, Veronica, it didn't pop up on mine properly and it's disappeared,
Okay.
so it might be me that's you're waiting on.
Okay, no problem. Are you voting for?
The Conservative amendment.
Amendment 1?
Yeah. Okay.
No problem. So, Convener, we have 7 votes for the motion. We have 3 for Amendment 1 and 1 for Amendment 2. So the motion is carried.
Thank you very much, Veronica.
Thank you. Sorry, Convener.
I was just going to say to the committee, I think we'll take one more item and then we'll take a break after that. And after we come back from that break, we're going to have to consider what we do with the rest of the items that are on the agenda, many of which are very important. But we have not given ourselves enough time to deal with them properly. So on to the next item then.